All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Martin Pierce. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. It is Wanderlust Wednesday here in the cave. We're having a little bit of fun today. I don't know. Can you tell we're having fun here in the cave? I heard this song the other day. I haven't heard this song in probably 40 years. And I was just like, what? I need to do some research. I can't believe this. And I needed to go through and dig. So we are talking about a novelty song. We do a lot of novelty songs here. And I do like a lot of novelty songs, not just Weird Al, but there's plenty out there. But this song, we're talking about Bob and Doug McKenzie. Who remembers this? You got to be over 50. Middle 50s to remember Bob and Doug McKenzie. Bob and Doug McKenzie, and they were, it was a Canadian comedy sketch show. Remember SCTV, anyone? Second City Television? Famous television show that had a lot of comedians run through it. We're talking John Candy, Eugene Levy, Harold Ramis, Martin Short, all had their time on here. The show was called Great White North, and they had all these sketches, and they realized at one point when they were putting the show on in the United States, because of the rules about how long commercials had to be, there was about a 2-minute difference in time between Canada and the United States. So they needed to fill that 2 minutes with something, anything. So they tapped Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas. Rick Moranis is one of the Bob and Doug McKenzies, right? And Dave and Thomas, and so they basically were like tasked with this, coming up with 2-minute sketches, and they said, well, let's do something that's just uniquely like Canada, like Canadian, just like make fun of Canada or all the stereotypes of Canada, and we'll just make some stuff up like we're talking to each other, drinking beer and everything. So that's what this is. The Bob and Doug McKenzie, they would just comment on things, drinking beers, grilling bacon, packed bacon, right? And they did like 41 sketches in total over a few seasons. There were this show ran from 1976 to 1984, but this was a total joke. It was just a filler. It wasn't meant to go anywhere or do anything. And lo and behold, it took off, and the United States wanted more of it. And they wanted more sketches, and they said, make sure you put those beer drinking guys in there. And they couldn't believe it. They just couldn't believe that this got big. And it got so big that they put out an album in 1981, which, by the way, got nominated for a Grammy, I assume for comedy. And then they also put out a movie in 1983, Strange Brew, if anyone remembers that. But the album had the song Take Off on it, which went to number 1 in Canada, and that's the song I heard. And I heard it, and I was like, wow, I just can't believe this. This brings me back to my childhood, and we're talking 1981 here. You know, I was 12 to 13 years old, and we were all into it. We didn't know what Canadians sounded like, and these guys had these accents, and they would call each other hosers and say "eh" a lot, and just all that stuff. Say "take off" to each other, and we were saying all that stuff to each other. We were 12-year-old kids. We would pick it up, and we started talking like that. We thought it was the funniest thing ever. But this song, Take Off, I listened to it, and I'm like, this song is terrible. It's awful. It's just banter. It's just banter back and forth. And so I was like, wow, I don't know what the big deal about this was. Then I hear the chorus, Take Off, and I'm like, holy shit, wait a minute. I can't believe this. Is that possible? Is that Geddy Lee singing the chorus of this song? Geddy Lee, the singer for Rush? Canadian band Rush, people, yes. And sure as shit, that's exactly what it was. They got Geddy Lee to sing chorus on this song, Take Off. Who knew all these years later? I did not remember this. I did not know this. Just crazy, but amazing. Dave Thomas got an Emmy for portraying this. Unbelievable. As far as Bob and Doug McKenzie are concerned, though, what they're most famous for are their 12 Days of Christmas, which you would hear all the time on rock stations in Connecticut growing up. And the 12 Days of Christmas was truly just them bantering back and forth, like the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a beer, stuff like that. Toques, whatever it was. So, and they didn't even get through all 12 days, and that was played every single year on Christmas time, and you heard it from Bob and Doug McKenzie, made up characters from SCTV out of Canada. Whew. Short and sweet today, people, but do you remember this? Tell me someone out there remembers. And again, Take Off, not that good of a song, but the fact that it was Geddy Lee singing chorus, and a big part of my childhood that I had forgotten about. That's why we're talking about it today on Wanderlust Wednesday. We're just throwing your curveball, short and sweet. Check it out if you dare. Have a good one, and as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side. If I could do a Canadian accent, I would, but I'm not even going to try. It would be a disservice.
Yeah. Oh, 6 pack of 5 golden tubes, 4 pounds of back bacon,
3 French toast,
2 turtlenecks,
and a beer
in a creek.